Hi everybody, I'm Jeanette. I'm from Backroom Creations. If you don't know me, there's several of us that here that do. So what tonight we're going to make is our Snowflakes, our Kisses from Heaven sign. And I've already got him ready to get on. So if you wouldn't mind if you would do the S word or sprinkle the love to your friends and family to help my page grow. I actually just sold 3 of those signs earlier tonight, so we'll be going. We're going to do the poof, ruffle, and roll method. So if you don't know what those are, you'll see what those are as we go. I have a 14¼ inch frame from Dollar Tree, so it's just $1. I have 10 ties on the outside and 8 on the inside, and then I always do a cross member in the middle to have there in case you want to attach your sign or any embellishments, so it doesn't have to be not secure. We have 4 beautiful ribbons that I just got the other night. I got these from I think the Wreath shop. I got like, I don't know, 5 or 6 shipments this week from different places. So this one's just a gray plaid. Does that work out right there? Oh, never mind. We got 2 cameras going this time, so we're going to try so you guys can see better. From this camera here, you can't really see what my hands are doing. So when I let him know, my husband Floyd, who's doing the moderator and tech guy, he's going to switch us to another camera, and hopefully you can see a little better. So we have a gray plaid. We have a beautiful baby blue with glittery snowflakes. This one is really pretty. It's not made out of my most favorite material, but it's got lots of glitter. As Floyd says, I have glitter all over the house. And this one's a 1½ inch. It's got little snowflakes on in the middle. So we're going to use those tonight. And then we have this for our base. It's got like lots of metallic and glitter and nice and pretty. And then you'll see the top here in a minute. So to get started, need a couple ties. You always want to tie with a zip tie your first and your last so it doesn't come down. Even though you've got it in your, your pipe cleaners, it can still come undone. So I don't have a mesh roller yet, so we just drop this baby to the floor. It's not going anywhere. So you just want to take this, and you can either do it on the mat, or I just stand up and do it. And you're going to want to switch here in just a second. We're going to switch down. He's going to switch you down to another camera so you can see a lot closer. Take this, and we're going to put it right in front of our tie. Not in our tie, but right in front of it. Hi, Becky. I seen Gail. I think I seen Pam. Hi, everybody. So we're just going to take this and we're going to zip tie it to our frame. Does this sound okay with that thing zipping? Zip off our tail. Then I usually just, so it's not real bulky, I'll cut off a little bit of the extra. So the roll method, or our poof, I'm sorry, you want to leave your edges. This is 21-inch mesh. When you do the poof method, you're normally using a 21-inch mesh unless maybe you're doing like it on an 8-inch Wreath form. So we're going to fold our edges down because you don't want them sticking out or twisting, because then it doesn't let your poofs lay right. So we're going to do about 10-inch poof. Thing lined up here, right? So you're just going to grab it and pinch it and put it into your next tie. The biggest thing that you can do wrong there is that you're going to twist your mesh and it's not going to poof up right. So then you can either poof them along the way or poof them at the end. I found out the hard way, if you don't poof them along the way, you can get one twisted and it doesn't want to lay right. So I learned that lesson the hard way. So we'll just keep on going around. I'm gonna make me a sign for my door while I'm on my sabbatical that says boss lady. Of course, Diana may not like it. See your daughter. I'm still gonna make hers too. This is what makes the poofs or the base. See my ties moving around there a little bit? Not a big deal. I'm just going to wrap it around. Your ties are about 4 inches apart. Sometimes you just can't get them tied quite tight enough. So, no biggie. You can buy a pre-made work wreath form. Usually those are elevated. The inside ring is a little bit higher than your outside ring. And it just what those actually do is make your wreath a lot deeper than your flat wire forms, which is good in some sense if you want to make a really, really deep one. But if you're shipping them, not so much, because they get a little pricey in shipping. You don't have to be exact. I usually tend to measure on my board here since I'm working on it. Some people count 1, 2, 3 as they're taking their mesh out. You don't have me switched.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah, I did. I said we're going to switch. Now he's going to switch. Sorry, guys. He didn't hear me. No biggie. So here in just a count, in a few seconds, you'll see us move down. Trial and error. We got new cameras set up, so he's trying to tell me where to put my hands and my wreath. And now see there, I got a little twisted, but it's not real bad. As long as they poof up, you're good. This is really pretty. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but little lights dancing off of it. I'll have to look up and see where I got this and get some more. Oh, okay. I yell at you next time. How rude. Becky, did you get your ginormous swag hung up yet? John hanging it for you? Okay, so we're back to where we began. So this is our first row. Okay. So we stopped right here. We're just going to grab it really tight from this one. You see it right here? You can see it right here. This is our last tie on our outer ring. We're going to jump down to this middle one. Here I go again, making the ties the same color as my mesh. I did that last time and I couldn't find them. So now we're going to do the inside. And it's going to be right big and puffy. Not yet working on it. Time to get it up. That thing's huge. Oh, I twisted. I'm going to redo this one. You you don't get your edges of your mesh underneath, it'll twist on you and it won't look right. So you don't want to do that. There we go, that's better. Whoop. See? I pulled on it. I was trying to make my poof extra big and came off. Maybe I didn't pull it tight enough. That's tight enough.
Yes, Becky.
Pick the camera up a little bit. Oh, because, yeah, I can't reach. Is that better, Becky?
She can't see it yet.
Oh. It hurts my back when I never like that. Pretty. Yeah.
I can't keep track of what's going on with OBS.
Yeah.
We'll just take a little sip.
Hang on the wall. Much better. So I got a ton of Christmas ribbon in. I'll show you my friends here behind me in a little bit. They're so cute. Almost all the way around. A couple more ties. See how it gets to be all nice and poofy and big? These are not wreaths that will go in between your doors. Okay. There's Emily. This is the one thing I hate that some of the people will do in the wreath or in the mesh industry. I have, here's the rest of my roll, and they joined it. Now, luckily, I may be really close to getting the final poof in. It might be just a tad little, because when you're doing this method, it's really hard. Not really hard, but it's a little more difficult to keep joining things in. If you have to stop and get your mesh tied in, and I think this one will work out just about perfect. Better late than never, Emily. Were you working today?
Becky wants twinkle lights on all the wreaths.
Oh, you like that, do you, Becky? Oh, the mesh. Yeah. Actually, I found some today. But I did learn from another designer that if you put lights in the wrong kind of wreath, it will backlight it, and your things on the front of it will kind of be in the background and kind of get dark. So here's our base. Hi, Lindy. I'm off today, Emily, too. I got one more day. So let's see here. Okay. So trade to the other camera. We're gonna look up on the other camera here for a second. So I'm going to show you guys some friends that I bought. And I think Lindy's already made dibs on the gnome. So for fall, I have these really cute. This has got like little wooden beads and button legs. She's so cute. I got these from Hobby Lobby. I didn't go into the store because when I go in the store I spend too much money. So I just bought some wreath attachments. I didn't have any scarecrows. Oh, she's even holding a little gourd. This is the boy. So if you use shelf sitters, basically is what they are. They're really heavy. I'm not sure what this is in the bottom, but it feels like crushed up big sand or rock. So this will make your wreath really heavy. So what a lot of people do is give them an enema. They'll like his pants are sewed on pretty good. Some of the pants you can pull them down and de-sit them so they're not so heavy for your wreath. So you want to pay attention to that. Here's another little girl. She's got a camo skirt on and a camo hat. She's so cute. I got camo ribbon to go with her. These are little sitters now. These aren't, they still have stuff in the bottom of them. Yeah, they have stuff in the bottom of them, but they're not very heavy at all, see? So you wouldn't have to necessarily operate on them. And these are little gnomes. So I think I'm going to make my granddaughter help me out make some of these. These are so cute, though. So all that the scarecrow stuff came from Hobby Lobby. I've got, it's on a little stand, but we're just going to break him off the stick and off the stand, and so he can get put in a wreath. I got quite a few of these. And then we go to, this is one of the wholesalers I deal with down in Georgia. So, Lindy, here's your gnome. I have 2 of those. I'm probably going to order some more of those because they are so cute. So here's something made like the scarecrow. She's got beads and buttons for legs, or he, this boy. So a little snowman. And then the gingerbread man. They have a girl too. So he feels like he's just got like some sand in the bottom of him. He's not too heavy either, so I don't know if I would operate on him. Then I got some little elves. I've got some picks that just have the elf feet, but they're a little bit bigger. That'll look so cute in a wreath. Alright, there's my new friends. So yes, Lindy, we're going to make the snowflake. You guys just coming in, we're going to make the snowflakes, our kisses from heaven sign. I designed it and Floyd printed it for me. So we're going to make that tonight. If you would, sprinkle, that means S, the little S button. That means click it, like our page if you're not have already, and share with your friends and family. Some of these make great presents, especially for somebody that maybe you just don't know what to get them. So they make really great presents, right, Becky? So I was just tucking my end in there. So you can either cut it off or tuck it inside there. Most meshes you won't be able to see inside. So that makes that good. Switch cameras. this is called a poof. So now we're going to do some ruffles. So this is our other mesh. This is going to be, these are our ruffles. They have just like a little twinkle of foil. The foil is the lines in the mesh, and it like sparkles. When you turn it in the light, it's really pretty. So, I've already cut these. These are cut at 30 inches. So we have 18 of these. This is going to be a big wreath. Get your pocketbook out, Becky. So where's my weight? Need my weight. Let's do a woodland ruffle instead of a regular ruffle. I like those better. So the regular ruffle would be that I just take this and walk it up the middle. Do this really fast. This would be a regular ruffle. So do we want to do a regular ruffle or a woodland ruffle? A woodland ruffle will mean that I roll it on this end.
You're showing that to the wrong camera.
Which camera am I on? This one? Oh. So this, and then scrunch it up in the middle. I'm doing this really sloppy. So that's a woodland ruffle. So do we want to do a regular ruffle or a woodland ruffle? Emily likes the woodland ruffle. She was first to say, so I like the woodland ruffle myself. So we're just going to roll it 3 or 4 times. The woodland ruffle also keeps the fraying down on your mesh, because you're going to get fraying no matter how good you cut it. I cut mine with a rotary cutter. Now there are people who will wood burn on a glass, tempered glass, and they wood burn all their mesh. You have to do it single layer, because like when I cut my rolls, I cut 3 layers all at once. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever do the wood burning. Maybe on regular burlap, because it's got so many fibers that go. So, but we're going to do the woodland ruffle. You roll it 3 or 4 times on that one end. We're going to roll it on this end, and then we're going to walk it up through the middle. You want to stay in the middle. Don't make your ruffle sideways. So we'll make some ruffles and then we'll pin them in. I kind of cut my mesh and just rolled it up in a ball. And then we'll need a bunch of paper clips or clothespins. So this was the inside of the roll, so it rolls up really easy. Some of the outside pieces you don't have to put a weight down. Lindy, you were too late. We're doing the woodland ruffle. You gotta get the typing faster. We'll do the next one I do. I'll do a regular one. Speaking of next ones, I'm gonna do one more live this week on Wednesday. I'm off on Wednesday, and then I have surgery on Thursday, so I won't be on for at least a week. I will be grounded to my chair. Yeah, where the camera's out works out good. Where the camera's out works out good. Sometimes if you don't roll it right, or see I didn't cut it quite right, so you can just take your rotary cutter and even it back up, because it'll kind of stick out on you. My trash can's underneath there. I almost thought at one time about putting a hole in my countertop so I could just You know, like in the bathrooms, you just scoot your trash into it. But yeah, we won't do that. So what everybody do today? What'd you do, Lindy? Were you in the pool? Because you don't think you worked today. Walk it up the middle. Oh, that's right. Did you get anything good? And where'd you go? I forgot you said you was going antiquing. You cleaned your craft room. I actually did that this morning. Floyd went fishing this morning. I got up about 7:30. And I came up here and I thought, you know what? I've got some Christmas stuff stashed away somewhere. I don't know where it's at, so I'll find it. Packed away some. See that little thing right there? It makes your ruffle look like a tulip or something. I just chop it off. I like to look at everybody's craft rooms when they're doing their lives. They're like, I want one of those. I'd love to have a bigger room, but because I have too much stuff. But I need all that stuff to make pretty wreaths and centerpieces. And I sold my purple and camo gray saddle this morning. She come picked it up. She liked it. It was one of a kind. I'll say that. But that's all that matters is the customer likes it. Okay, so now we have all our woodland ruffles done. Bring it back to the base without knocking them on the floor. Oh, too late. So, you can do them either down or up. I prefer up. Stick them in there. You can put them sideways, or you can put them facing this way. Wow, that really blends in. I can't see my ties. Yeah, Emily, this room is not very big either. It's probably, I mean, you guys probably see half of it. Just about. Look how pretty that looks against. I call this like a grayish silver. Isn't that pretty? So who's ready for fall? Isn't it hot? Why you got an angry face, Gail? Hi, Rachel. We miss you, Gail. Two more. For the outer ring, anyway. And I already goofed. Forgot. I gotta make myself notes about which kind of wreath I'm gonna make. Sometimes I put ruffles all the way around. Sometimes I don't. So I did every one, and I forgot I was going to do every other one. Let's just take a few out and move them over. How you doing, Gail? Taking care of your dad? Don't you just love it when you do something wrong? I did a bunch of things wrong last time, but we fixed it. So, not there, not there. Yeah, should have kept that one. Oops. Tie super short on that one. Sometimes your ties are just shorter, so it depends on how you roll things. So we'll get it in there. So I did every other now. Woodland ruffle. I called a baby blue or an ice blue. Really pretty. Okay. So here's what we got now. It says Floyd Spears joined. You don't know what he's doing. Okay. So every other one. So now what we're going to do. This is called a snowball mesh. It's got like little pieces of bundled up thread. We're going to use that one. And we're going to use, this is a gray, a light gray with silver streaks through it. And then we're just going to use a basic turquoise. When we say basic or metallic and snowball, that's the kind of mesh it is. So this is basic. And then that's a gray with metallic. And this is actually a snowball with foil in it too. So now we're going to put rolls where we had, where we don't have the ruffles. So you want to make sure that you use all three colors. I kind of rolled mine up because I cut it earlier. And And this is our bundle. So I got the white, the turquoise, and the silver, or gray, whatever you want to call it. So where we didn't put a ruffle, we're going to put our bundle of rolls. So poof, woodland ruffle, and then these are rolls. Some people put the ribbon in at the same time they put the rolls or whatever they're putting in. I haven't gotten to that point yet. So this is my easy bow maker. I'm just using it to hold my rolls because I can't hold them in my fingers like some people do. A lot of people use a Bodabra. Actually looked at Walmart yesterday and they don't have Bodabras. They carry something else. And it didn't look like I wanted it. Just to be able to hold my mesh. We call it a third hand. So always variegate which order you put your mesh in, so you don't have, unless you want them the same everywhere. I tend to mix mine up, that way if you don't put them in the same order, it's not a mistake. I'll show you another way that some people do their rolls too. So right here you can see that it's getting a little fray. You got little strings everywhere. You can snip them as you go, or you can go back down at the end and snip them. I do spray my wreaths a little bit with some Krylon triple thick. It's called triple thick clear glaze. It's just like a poly, just to keep the ends from fraying. I'll probably have to spray that one. A couple more on the round. So another way, if you don't have something to hold your rolls in, just use chip clip or clothespin. I like clothespin, that way if they break, it's no big deal. Sometimes if you drop a chip on the floor, it will break. Put that one over here. So if you do your rolls and just clothespin them, works the same way. I actually did that way in the very beginning. Then you can just take one, cross it over, make your third one, cross it over, or lay it back this way, however you want it. Now there's another way to put your bundles on. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Your possibilities of color choices are really infinite. I watched a lady put turquoise and orange together for a fall wreath. It was actually really pretty. I would have never dreamed about putting turquoise and orange together. This is the last outer one. See how it's getting lots bigger? Now we'll go to the inner ring. Does anybody have any questions? Emily, how many pixie wreaths have you sold at work? She was making them and selling them to the associates for a fundraiser. Now we'll start on the inside. You don't have to always put 3 colors for the rolls. I've seen people do 2. Never seen anybody do 4. That would get kind of bulky. I keep bouncing back and forth about which season I'm going to make. The fall season has so much. I've made Halloween. I've made Thanksgiving and fall. Now I'm doing a winter one. I still do have some ghost. I'm going to work on a ghost sign. I'll show you what we're going to make Wednesday here in a minute. At the end, I'll show you. So they gain a lot of volume really fast. The more mesh that you layer on.
Emily said she sold 5 and has orders. That's why she needs the baseball signs.
Okay, you just let me know what you want. So Emily, is your child going to go to school or in the school? I know some of my grandchildren will be in school, some of them are being homeschooled. This crap has really done a damper on her year. My comments aren't scrolling. There we go. Probably because Chelsea messaged me. Clothespins are so versatile. Use them in crafting. You can make crafts with them. Has anybody ever seen a total clothespin wreath? I mean, the whole wreath is nothing but clothespins. Yeah, I got more stuff in here somewhere. Let's see. 1, 2. It's getting so poofy I can't even see in here. Got that one. Got that one. That one. some, I shouldn't let go of those. So the cross members, if you were here in the beginning, I'll show you on the back. These are put cross members. They serve two purposes. One, something for you to attach your sign and other things to. And also, you don't want your sign sinking down there in the middle, so because we can see how it goes down. So we'll put some stuff there in the middle. We'll attach it. And that way it'll hold your sign up. Or your bow or whatever you want to put in the middle. I always cut too many. So we're going to use pipe cleaner and just attach it to the middle. Might do a couple. So we're just going to attach these. Flipping it over might help. Yeah, we'll put another one in there. John's serious was an emergency. That's funny. We don't really watch a whole lot of sports here. I don't. The only sports I ever watched was something that the kids played in. Oh, look at that. Come on, Mommy. Come on. So we're going to put another bundle in the middle to keep our sign up. I've always thought about doing an entire wreath in bundles and rolls. Never tried that. For him it was. That's funny, Becky. So we're just going to attach this roll too. Those crossbars come in really handy. Step back through there. Cut off the extra. You want to keep your back nice and neat for your customer. You don't want to have any wires sticking up so it won't scratch their door or anything. So see there? Now we can't even tell that there's a middle. So now we're going to work on our tails, our ribbon tails. There. So here's our ribbon. Here's our 2.5 inch ribbons. They're going to be 12 inches. I just roll them over a piece of acrylic, an acrylic ruler. It's a quilting ruler. And then I'll cut them apart. So here's our 2 1.5 inches. So I'm going to put this one with this one, and this one. So there's snowflakes in each. And then we just go down the middle and just snip it. You got to have really good scissors to cut through all that. Remember, it's wired ribbon. You always want to use wired ribbon in your wreath, because in the very beginning I tried to use like rose green and satin ribbon, and they're not stiff enough to hold their shape. I actually used to have a rack in the bathroom that I would take my gross grain ribbon, cut them apart, soak them in Stay Flow fabric stiffener, and then I bought this little rack, a little drying rack, to have them dry. That was a lot of work. Sometimes rose grain ribbon is just, I don't know. It's got nice little patterns on it. And now I've been able to find most of what I need. I might use them I used them in the Wreath saddle I just made for a customer. I was looking for lavender. She wanted lavender and camo in her Wreath saddle, and I'm like, I don't have any very much lavender ribbon. So I keep all my extra ribbons. Sometimes I cut some extra, and so I'll just stick it in a drawer. One of these days, I'll probably let the grandkids use it. So we're going to pair these two together, and these two together. Okay, so we're going to go every other one again. I'll put these two over here so I can't mix them up. A couple lives ago, I mixed up my matches and had to redo a bunch. We're going to chevron our ends here real quick. So you just fold it in half, and from your folded side, cut it a 45-degree angle. Don't try to cut. Some people try to cut too many, and then your chevrons get really messy looking. Usually 3 or 4. I will try to cut at a time. Ooh, I think I got 5 in that one. Kind of depends on how thick your ribbon is too, whether or not how many you can cut together. But you don't want messy chevrons. You know, that makes a nice little dovetail, chevron, whatever you want to call it. If nothing else, at least slant the end of your ribbons, because you never just want to leave them cut straight across. It kind of looks, in my opinion, it makes it look a little messy or not done. I did a breast cancer awareness wreath last night. Not last. 2 nights ago I started it, and then I finished it this morning. Boy, I didn't even know I made it. I thought I had to wait for a sign, but then I found something I liked. I might make a live. I might make a live doing that. Make a breast cancer one too. A little closer to October. Be ready when the weather turns a little cooler. I don't like winter, but I don't like hot either. I turned my air conditioner off this morning. The poor thing ran forever. Those are so sparkly. Has anybody ever seen faux candy? Like, really looks like a cupcake, but you can just leave it sit on the counter for months. So I've been watching YouTube lives about making faux candy. I was like, what do you want to make faux candy for? Put it in your wreath? And I'm like, yeah. Put cookies in my gingerbread wreath. Isn't that so pretty? It's so pretty. It's not the fabric I like, but hopefully it'll be alright. When I order things online, I always can't tell what it is, and if they don't list what it is. It's a bad deal. Again, my tails. These are tails. 12 inches. Some people like to make theirs longer. For a wreath like this, I wouldn't make them any shorter than a 12 though. Hi, Michelle. So we're going to start with our snowflake. How it glistens. This might look cute with some backlighting in it. I'll put twinkle lights in it, Becky. So we'll put 2 ribbons together. I'll show you here just a sec what they're going to look like. It's not playing nice. So you just want to put them together and then stretch them apart so they alternate. So your gray and your gray is not together. Point them all out. A lot of people will do like an X with their 4 ribbons. I tend to do that up here and leave the ones on the outside pointing straight out so you can see them all. Sure you do want lights, Becky. I think this actually would, because how it's got all this foil and glistening stuff on it. This is the first winter one I've ever made. I just started making wreaths the end of February, I think. I just started doing it to have something to do. And then right about the same time COVID hit, I decided to do it as a business. That's kind of put a damper on it, but those are really pretty there. What were you supposed to take a picture of? You're asking me now, Lindy? I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm old, remember? Some people, when they buy the work wreath forms, their ties are really, really thick. Their wires are thick in them. I just don't like them. A lot of people will leave that part standing up through your wreath because they got big fuzzies on them. I just don't. But that's my preference. Lots of people can. Sometimes they'll use it to hot glue styrofoam, like glitter balls onto them. You poke a hole in the styrofoam ball and then stick some glue down in there and stick your ball on the end of them.
Becky wants to help make the fake candy.
Yeah, you're a good baker, but you just can't eat it, Becky. It tastes nasty because it actually you make it with, I have to shorten. You make it with spray foam, like you use to seal your cracks and stuff. And you use spackle, like lightweight spackling. And that's what you get. And then you can make sprinkles out of polymer clay. I've been watching YouTubes at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. Probably not a good thing to watch when I'm trying to go to sleep, but she makes like really, really pretty cupcakes and pieces of pumpkin pie. This is my one I had to fix my ties in and went in backwards. So I just had to make another pie. You have plastic chocolate molds. Yeah, I've seen. Well, you wouldn't want to use them for food afterwards, though. You put styrofoam. We're gonna do one night. I watched a lady the other day. She cut off the bottom part of a heart where the point is on the heart, and she put the top part. She attached it to a sign, and then she used spray foam. Because if you think about it, spray foam is a lot cheaper than foam blocks. You wouldn't think so, but if you want to do a whole wreath, it is. Spray foam is like $3 a can, and some of those blocks are $3 or $4 depending on how big you get them. Guys, see those over there? Those are so pretty. I'm covered in glitter. Floyd's gonna make me go take a shower before I go anywhere near him. I'm not allowed to take my wreaths in his room, in his craft room, with good reason, because we do the t-shirts and stuff in there, and you don't want to get glitter underneath your vinyl or.
I think that's what those speckles were on the signs too.
Oh. We also make license plates. Becky and John got one. I know you got piping and tips, Becky, but you don't want to put spackling in it. Oh, excuse me. I think this is the longest part of the wreath, is putting all the ribbons on. That's why a lot of people, I'll get there, a lot of people will put their ribbons on as they put their rolls, just to make it go a little faster. I kind of fold mine in half. I'm going to fold them in half so you can find your middle. And then just scrunch it up like a little bow tie. This ribbon here that I have in my hand is really thin, really pretty. Most of my ribbon I have is made out of linen or canvas. It's nice and thick. You're still gonna have wired ribbon, no matter what kind you use. Can you imagine putting these ribbons in there if they were just regular ribbon? Just kind of be kind of limpy. Oh, are you over there searching, Becky? That's all I'll be doing my first week is watching YouTube, and I'll probably design some signs because I'm having surgery on my foot. My tendon is too short, so I've been giving at work. So I'm going to go in there and snip it. Not going to take very long, but my recovery is going to be a little while. So my first week I'm banished to the recliner. Doc told me I wasn't even allowed to stand up long enough to make a box of macaroni and cheese. I wouldn't be making a box of macaroni and cheese, but now if you were here in the beginning when I was doing the poof, you saw that my roll got interrupted, but thankfully it was in the very end. They did this with the ribbon. I'm not going to change it now. I'll probably change it later. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but right here, they spliced the ribbon roll. They're not supposed to do that, but they did. You can just see a faint line. And I will probably change that one out later, cut another piece. Glitter, glitter, glitter.
What's Becky spending money on?
Yep, gotta spend some. Oh, she's. Every time I make a new wreath, Becky goes, "You gotta stop it. John's gonna divorce me." Why don't you wait till I make a couple other ones and see which one you want? I do like the winter theme though, because it's not just like a holiday, you know, like I didn't buy very much Halloween stuff because Halloween's just a short holiday. Especially this year, I just don't think that we're going to be able to do any trick-or-treating or anything like that. So here's our outside layer with all our...
She said all of them.
You ain't got enough room in the attic.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah, Christmas is coming. I got some cute elf. Oh, Lindy, I have gnome ribbon. Where's my gnome ribbon? These don't match, but look, Lindy, they're gnomes. They're gonna match my gnome. I got some other ones too. My ribbon rack is so full that I had to go put some in totes. Pumpkin pie. Yeah, this lady made a piece of pumpkin pie, and it looked like a piece of pumpkin pie, crust and all. Had whipped cream on top. Oh, and she put this little, I don't know what the powder stuff was that she had, but it made it look like you had cinnamon on it. It was so cute. Okay, now we're going to go to our inner side and put our ribbons. I'm thinking I could make, oh, she made faux sugar cookies, like you would not eat them, to put on a wreath. She was doing hearts at the time when I watched, but do a gingerbread one and then paint it. This one's just fraying really bad. So, but that would look so cute on the wreath with my gingerbread man. Yep. Floyd will come home one day and I have spackle and spray foam everywhere. That spray foam though, if you get it on your fingers, yuck, you gotta use like acetone or something to get it off. So I think I'm gonna leave. Normally I put these in an X, where I would come across and do this and make these in an X. I think I'm gonna do them all to the outside this time, just because my sign is a pretty good size. She's going to be here in the middle. I always don't put my signs in the middle, but since she is, I think I'm going to point these to the outside. Because you really don't want to put your ribbons where they're going to get all covered up. You're just going to cover up a couple. Lindy's still stuck on the pumpkin pie. Becky bakes awesome cupcakes. Filled cupcakes. She hides num-nums in her drawer.
Hey, Becky, I'll trade wreaths for cupcakes.
Uh-oh. Did you hear that, Becky? Floyd will trade wreaths for cupcakes. But I get the short end of the stick because I'm the one that made the wreath. If you are looking for a wreath, maybe not a winter one yet, I do have some in my Etsy shop. There. Did you put the Etsy on there? Okay. So Floyd put the Etsy webpage. He can probably do that again. He's just over there chilling. Oh, she says you're on. Make Floyd make the wreath. I don't know if that would fare too well, though. He's over there laughing. Make sure your ribbons are spread out. These are a little... the satin is just a little flimsy. So you gotta make sure your wires will bend. These have really thin wires in them versus some of the other ones. They'll go where you want them. Especially on something like this. See? How you can just bend it and it stays. That's the canvas. And then this is a linen. It's a little bit thinner than the other. But it still holds its shape pretty good. Satin's pretty, but it just doesn't hold its shape as well. Wait for me to knock my scissors off and stab my foot. That would be a bad deal. Becky liked my fall wreath I made with the pumpkin. She was almost going to buy that until I showed her that monstrosity thing I had on my door. I made a mantelpiece I posted earlier, I think last week. You need a centerpiece. I can do centerpieces like for your dining table for Thanksgiving. I make smaller ones too. I ordered some 8-inch rounds frames, and then you can put a candle in the middle. Those will look cute. Make sure you alternate your ribbons. Two more sets. Just remember, if you make a wreath, the more you mess with your mesh, the more it frays. I think that's why some people do their ribbons at the same time. That's why I want to find me a bow dabber and use it as an extra hand. Stick my ribbons down in there with the rolls and put her on.
Emily said she got hers off Amazon.
Did ya? I get so much stuff off of Amazon. I'm sure you're an Amazon Prime member, aren't you? Free shipping. Sometimes it's here in one day. I love it. I had this big, long Amazon box on my porch this morning when we ran an errand real quick and came back. He's like, "What did you order now?" And I'm like, sometimes I forget what I ordered. But it was football pants for my grandson. Those pads are thick on those things. Alrighty, so this was our last ribbon. So like I said, you could have put your ribbons in a crisscross, or you can leave them pointed towards the outside, like I did the first row. I think in this instance, it's going to look really good to do in the on the out. So here's what we have. This would be pretty just leaving it as is. Put a big bow on it, and there you go. But we're going to put a sign on it. So here's our sign again. Snowflakes are kisses from heaven. Got a little angel on it. So cute. Now in the summertime, I usually do ribbons that don't necessarily match for my bow, but for this one I did. Now you don't want to pull your tie through the bottom too much, or you'll get a sign that's sinking down way in. You just kind of want to leave it rest on the top there, and be snug, but not too snug. You're going to flatten your wreath like a pancake. Speaking of pancakes, this wreath will not go between a storm door and your door, but you can make what they call a pancake wreath. I've made a few. They just don't use quite as much mesh. Still put ribbons on them, still put a sign on them, but they are just much thinner, so you can put them between a door. So sometimes you get a hold of your ribbon there, and it's right at the corner. You just kind of have to bend it over so it doesn't poke out over your sign there. Especially these two, they're nice and firm ribbons. They'll stay where you want them pretty much. So I'm just wrapping the sign around the wire frame, or this fuzzy sticks as my granddaughter calls them. And actually, Walmart's packages do say fuzzy sticks. I seen it when I bought some. So my granddaughter was right there, fuzzy sticks. Okay, the third one. I didn't put holes in this sign. I used the, they're actually little electrical. I should have showed you the back. These are little electrical things. You can slide the pipe cleaner up through the holes either way, and they stick on the back. Last tie. Some signs don't require 4 ties. Some will just do in 2, but this is an 8x12 sign, so I usually do put 4 on them. You don't want your sign going anywhere. Sometimes the wind around our house, we live in town, but we get like a wind tunnel coming by our house. Just don't want your wreath going in your neighbor's yard. Okay. See, and then get you the shake test. Sign's not going anywhere. So see? Normally I don't put my signs right in the middle, but this one I think was looking good. You guys want to make a bow? Hi Jackie, thanks for coming by. I'm Jeanette from Backroom Creations. Just kind of make sure your ribbons are pointing the right way. You guys want to make a bow for it? Facebook lags so much. Maybe I'll start doing them on YouTube. See how it is. Thank you, Patricia. Thanks for stopping by. You guys want a bow on it? You want to leave it as is?
Jackie says yes.
Oh, Jackie says yes. First person gets to pick. So I use the Easy Bow Maker, the deluxe. I'm not sure what makes it a deluxe. Maybe that extra little dowel rod that nobody knows what it's used for. So I always put the ribbons that I used in my wreath in my sign, or in my, I use the ribbons in my wreath for my bow. So we used that one and this one and this one and that one.
Lindy said yes on the bow. Irene wants to know where you got your sign.
Oh, Irene, I made my sign. So Floyd can post again our Etsy shop, and I made my sign. I make a lot of signs. I made my Gobble to the Wobble, to you wobble sign. I'm making signs every day. So if you want to go to our Etsy shop, and Floyd will put that in, pin it again. Is it on there? Okay. So if you can't find it by chance in the messages, just send me a message and I'll get you the link to the Etsy shop. I just sold 3 of those signs tonight. I think they're just so cute. So I don't know. I'm not going to use that one. This one is really pretty too. I haven't even opened it. Oh! I don't think I'm going to use that one anyway. Floyd's over there going, please tell me you don't need that one, because we've got tripods set up. So this one has more glitter in it. Love it. It's like a whitewashed light teal. This one is like really, I actually bought this to make a peacock wreath. And I just haven't found the things that I want to make a peacock, but it matches this one. So we're going to start with this. You always want to use a basic, oh, they put the sign over it, or the sticker. Use a, yep, I use the Easy Bow Maker. So you always want to dovetail your ends. This is like this is a different kind of ribbon. I've never used it before. So we're gonna make our tails. Oh, there you go. You see better now? So we're gonna make about 8-inch tails. The Easy Bow Maker has lines on it with every inch up to 8. If you wanted to do longer tails, you can just use your cutting board and measure them that way. A lot of people will just put it here, measure up to where you want, and start pinching. I usually do about 8-inch tails. I don't prefer the wreaths that have the very long tails. They'd be hanging halfway down your door. So you can just a tad over 8 inches, but you twist and then put it through your dowel rods. And then over here, you've got your marks where your lines are. I stick my finger right there. I'm going to start with a 6-inch, and then you twist. I do like this though. It stays twisted really well. So if you want to pull this down out of your way so you can see your marks, slide it in there, put your finger down there at the 6-inch mark, and twist. I'm a little slower at making bows. My first wreath this year actually did not have any bows on them because I was horrible at making bows. But I just sat and watched a lot of designers make bows. I've joined a lot of groups. And they show me a lot of different ways to make bows. I just can't make them by hand. I think we're going to do 3 on each side. So our bottom 3 will be all 6 inches. It's kind of like paper-ish, very strong paper. Kind of like it. So here's our last. We got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So your last one, you're not going to twist. You're just going to scrunch it down in the middle. So you want your right sides up top. You can measure out here. I can see here my 8 down here. And then I dovetail as I go instead of waiting until the very end. That way I won't miss any. Done with that one. Then we're going to have another 2.5 inch. We will do this one. Snowflakes are so pretty. And then a winter wreath would be good for, after Thanksgiving all the way up. Gosh, you could take it down and put up a Christmas one, and then take it down, put up a New Year's Eve. Or, I don't know if I'll do New Year's or not. It's just one day. 8-inch tail again. You put a winter one back up till you put Valentine's Day up.
Jackie said she loves that color blue.
Yeah, so do I. It's just like, it's really, like I said, I bought it for a peacock, but this works really well. This bow here, I'm going to do 2 loops, and I'm going to do just a smidget, maybe a 1/2 inch shorter than my bottom bows, so about 5.5 inches. Sometimes I stick my finger there, it's about a finger width, so. And there's lots of different ways to make a bow. I know Damon from Deco Exchange He does a 2-1-2-1-2-1, like 7 layers. Your bow's this tall, and I was going by his standards there for a while, and it was just a little bit big for me. So then I got to be where I could just make up my own mind. And then if you don't like it, you can take it apart, iron it out, most of it. Not all of it. I don't think this would iron very well. Then take it back out, do it again. I did one time have a 7-layer bow, 7 different ribbons in it. Okay, we got 2 on each side. Push this down on the top. A 7-layer bow collapsed on me. Went everywhere. I was so mad. I think I just walked out of my room and shut the light out and did it the next day. So when your bow starts coming up here, see how it keeps sliding up? I do this little trick. I put a clothespin right there. That way when I'm switching out my ribbon or when it gets too tall, it helps me to hold everything down. Okay, so we'll do one more 2.5 inch. We're just going to do 1 loop on each side of this with 8-inch tails. Ooh, that got sloppy. There we go. So 8-inch tails. Right side up at first. You're going to pitch it and then twist it. Pull your tail down out of the way. And this one's going to be the same. It's going to be about 5.5 inches. This is really easy to pinch, that's for sure. Make sure it's all laying right so you can get your right measurement. So then we're just going to scrunch it down because I'm just making 1 bow on each side. Do your little dovetail so you don't forget it, because sometimes your tails get all going every which way and you might forget to use this one. I did not use in my wreath, but it's really pretty and matches it as well. I think we're going to use it here in a minute. We're going to use, see, we did the checks in there. I love buffalo check too. I got some little mittens in red buffalo check to put on my wreath. I don't know which one, I just thought it was cute. So 8-inch tails again. So you twist. Here's your wrong side up. This time, so we're about 5.5 inches. So now we're going to go down to about 5. So it kind of depends on how many layers each size you want. Sometimes I go how I make it. I kind of see how it's looking, how big it's getting, and that determines how many loops and how many different colors I put in the ribbon. So this one we're going to do 2 on each side. And we're at 4 inches now. If you move your bow out of the way, you can still see your numbers down there. Now some people will spread their loops out as they make it. I think that was the time I dropped my ribbon because it just doesn't work for me. So there's our gray checks. So we have everything, this one. Oh yeah, we're not going to put that paper one in there that went rolling across the table. It's not real stiff, so I just don't think it would make a very good bow. So we're going to do this white baby blue wash glitter. Yummy. I love glitter. My husband hates it, but I love it. So we're just going to do just a tad bit smaller than the gray buffalo check. probably looking at about 3.5 inches now. And we're just going to do one ribbon or one loop on each side. You can also pull your loops up like this to see if they're the same length. If you want your tails at different lengths, you can do that too. I kind of keep mine all about the same. And then our very last one, we're going to go ahead and use this one. And we're just going to make our, it's a satin one. Gorgeous satin. We're just going to make a single loop in the middle. So you still twist it in the middle. It's called our center loop. So we're not making loops on each side. We're just making, I put about 2 fingers in there. Do it this way. And spread them apart just a little bit. That's about how big I make it. You're not going to twist it over again, and then you're going to pull it out and cut your tail. So it's going to look like your tails are going to go on the same side of the ribbon or same side of the bow, but they're not because you're going to put them where you want them. Okay, so this is all, here's our stacked. This is what a color stack is. So we'll do this twisty tie. Now you can use wire for to attach it to the wreath. I tend to just use a fuzzy stick of the same color that I put in the rest of the wreath. So what we're going to do here, some people will just pick it off and they'll tie it up and they're good to go. I cannot do that. So we're going to take our zip tie and get it started. You don't want to pull this down completely tight at first because you're not going to be in the center. The center is where your rod is, your dowel rod. So your zip ties off to the side. That's not where you want it to be completely tied or tight. So I'm going to push it down. See, you're going to push it down. So right in that divot is where you want to move over your zip tie. So if you kind of hold it in one hand, pull on the zip tie. Sometimes you have to put your fingers down there and hold it with one hand and tighten it with another. Now I just put my fuzzy stick down there. So I want it tight enough to where I hold the layers together. You don't want them pulling together, or else your bow's not going to look right. I've done that too. So you pull it just tight enough, and you start from the bottom. So you're going to pull these apart. You got 3 on each side. Don't pull too hard at this point because you're not completely tied tight. So you got these 3. So then you want to take these 2 and spread them a little bit apart, but you want them in between your 2 bows. So you want them like this. So here's this one peeking out in the middle of those 2. And this one peeking out of those 2. Okay, now flip it over. So, yeah, put your ends where you want them. So see, right now you can still tug on it. Here's my top. I'm gonna pull the ties down. You don't want them up here. I'm rolling a little bit. Spread those apart a little bit. Spread your gray ones apart. And then this one will peek in the middle. And then your middle one's just in your middle. Flip it back over and tighten the crap out of it. Now, well, some people, I'm going to leave it on there. Some people hold on to that. So you got your 2 fuzzy sticks and your zip tie. So hold on to it. So here's where we're going to You can still move it slightly, not a lot. If you got it tightened down the way you want it. Because now you can bend it where you want it. Poof them out, put your fingers in there. Just get so mad I poof up my bow, and then I'd put it on my wreath, and then I'd end up setting my wreath up on its top and having to start all over and do it again. Just go around. My bows still aren't the greatest. They're getting better. See, this kind of came together. You yank it apart. So you just kind of want rounded loops. Some of your ribbon may not stay as rounded as some others. Like I said, that's why I use the linen and the canvas ribbon, because they stay really stiff. Okay, so we got our loops going on. So now you're going to take these. That's got a wire in it, remember? Just going to run your hands down it. 2-inch ones are a little bit harder for me. Make that wire the shape that you want it. Some people do really long ties, and then they curl them in little curly cues. I think it looks pretty when they're just kind of bent over. Make sure you get them all. I don't think that's going to bit in. That's not wired ribbon, but I wanted to put it in there anyway. I know I told you to use wired ribbon all the time. Sometimes you just have to go for pretty. Alrighty. Okay, see our bow? Okay, so now you want to cut off your zip tie. You don't want it still poking you through the back. So I'm going to put it, normally I put my bows on the right side, but since over here you kind of want to not hide too much of your sign, it's okay to have it at the very edge, but since there's kind of just snowflakes down here in the corner, I'm going to stick it on this side this time. Now some people embellish their sign or their wreaths with lots of goodies, as we call them, and I tend to like a more simple wreath. I think it hides too much of the wreath when you start putting a ton of stuff on. And I do like some. Sometimes I put flowers in them. I can't wait for clearance after Christmas because I'm going to buy tons of bulbs. A lot of people all year long, especially Halloween ones, put black and orange in their wreaths. So I can mess with it all night long. So I'm going to switch to the other camera. So he's going to switch to the other camera for you. So here's our wreath. Snowflakes are kisses from heaven. I think it turned out really pretty. If you wanted to, I even found... What did I do with them? Oh, there they are. I don't think I'm going to put these in there, but if you wanted to, this was just a box of little snowflake ornaments. If you wanted to, you could hot glue some in there. That might look pretty. It's got little like shiny stuff on it. You could put them in there if you wanted. Take the string off, of course. Thank you, Patricia. Floyd's getting all techie. Oh, did he do that fade thing on you? From one screen to the other? So see, you could put a couple snowflakes in it if you wanted. If you had little angels, ornaments, you could put those on there. But like I said, I don't usually put too much on there. So this is going in my Etsy shop if I don't keep it. So thank you for
Going in the Etsy shop.
Oh, Floyd said everything's going in the Etsy shop. He don't let me keep anything. I did keep one, a red, white, and blue burlap wreath. It went in my living room. So thank you for everybody stopping by. I'll be on live on. Oh yeah, I'll be live on Wednesday. Here's what we're gonna make on Wednesday. We got our scarecrow that I showed you earlier. And I didn't make this sign. I bought this one. I already had it. So we're going to do Thanksgiving on Wednesday. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to come back and hang out with me at 7 o'clock on Wednesday on my backroom creation site, we're going to do Scarecrow. So thanks for coming. Night.